I'm New York State Senator Michelle Hinchy. I'm here at the Ashokan Reservoir, halfway along the Esopus Creek in the Catskills, to call attention to a problem. Right now, massive amounts of mud are being released from the reservoir into the Lower Esopus Creek for months at a time. We're seeing this problem all along this beautiful waterway. From here, the creek runs 32 miles from the reservoir to the Hudson River to my hometown of Saugerties. This is what it looks like for 32 miles. Managing turbidity is a complex challenge, one that will become even more challenging with climate change. The way it's working is not working, but there are solutions. Whether you live in this area or you live in New York City and drink this water, I ask you to join our campaign to stop the mud and give all of us clean water.
We want New York City to stop treating the creek this way. We want a hard look at solutions. The residents, the wildlife, and the communities shouldn't have to bear this burden. They are taking a stand, community by community, to submit public comment by June the 16th. People love this creek. Through public hearings, letters, and written comments, residents are speaking up. In nearly a dozen communities, they passed formal resolutions. Here's what they said.
Elevated turbidity after storms is a long-standing problem in the Ashokan Reservoir and will only be magnified in the future due to increased storm events from climate change.
In 2010, New York City's DEP instituted new operating procedures for the reservoir, releasing exceptionally turbid water from the reservoir into the lower Esopus.
When a water body is turbid, the levels of light and oxygen within the water are reduced. This negatively affects everything living in the stream.
This reduces habitat for aquatic insects and smothers fish, eggs, and larvae. It's hard for them to see their food.
The DEP's actions have already impaired use and enjoyment of the creek for recreation.
These massive muddy releases are an inexpensive way for New York City to preserve the quality of its drinking water. But the farmers, businesses, and residents along the Lower Esopus have been forced to bear the consequences.
During extended turbidity releases, the sediment plume from the Lower Esopus is clearly visible in the Hudson River, which is the drinking water supply for more than 100,000 people in 7 communities, which are represented by the Hudson 7.
The current state of Ashokan releases is unsustainable
and unacceptable. New York State and New York City need to study alternatives.
Stop the mud.
Stop the mud.
Stop the mud. Stop the mud.
Stop the mud.
Stop the mud.
Please, stop the mud.
Stop the mud!
Visit riverkeeper.org/stopthemud.